Recording is on.
So we're here, amped and unfiltered, with Void Souls today, Calgary band. So let's just introduce yourself and yeah, we'll just start with you introducing yourself. I'm a little lost this morning.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, my name's Josh. I sing in Void Souls, like you said there. We're a Calgary-based hard rock band, kind of, for fans of bands like 3 Days Grace, Creed, Foo Fighters, Shinedown, Papa Roach. So anyone, Breaking Benjamin too, anyone that kind of likes those styles of bands, we think they may like ours. We're a pretty new band. We've only been going for a couple years, but we're making a little bit of noise out west here, and we're really excited for all the new music we have coming out this summer.
Nice. So how has the Calgary music scene shaped your band?
It was essential, to be honest with you, because I was actually living in British Columbia in Kelowna up until 2023, I believe it was. I moved back, and I didn't really know too many people coming back home, but all I knew is I wanted to play some music again. So I'm actually a drummer. That's kind of my first love. I play drums, and I started playing drums in a lot of bands, and I kind of had this idea of this, original rock band I wanted to sing in, and I just didn't know anyone. So I played in a lot of bands to get to know people and figure out who would be the right fit for what we want to do and kind of what my vision is. And so, yeah, to answer your question, it was essential because without the people of the Calgary music scene, I probably wouldn't have formed this band. That probably wouldn't be where we are now. Probably wouldn't even be talking to you. So it definitely deserves a lot of credit.
So, what are some themes that are often shown in your lyrics? Do you have any kind of go-to?
It's I never really set out to intentionally write something. It's more so kind of an organic feel when we're all together, in the studio, jamming, rehearsing, and it might be something like I may think of a melody in my head. I might not have lyrics for it. It might be the guys coming up with some stuff, and then I just start kind of doing some melodies over top of it. But it just kind of feels whatever I'm feeling, I guess emotion-wise, that would fit what I'm feeling with the instrumentals. And I got to be honest, just it's kind of whatever comes out, comes out. So I guess if you look at our music up to this point, again, we don't have the biggest discography in the world, but I guess there would probably be some themes of, having to deal with your personal struggles in different facets of life, and just trying to express my way through that and how I've fought through those moments in my life and how I'm still fighting through those moments and trying to be the best version of myself that I can be on a daily basis. And I don't want to give too much away, but the next few songs that we're releasing might have some happier undertones. So
Nice.
it's not all dark and gloomy, but we do like to rock out and have fun. So
Who sparks the songwriting a lot of the time? Is it you yourself?
So I was in the start. I wrote the first few songs, with just my producer in Kelowna at the time. His name is Dan Harden at the Record Room Studios. So if you're ever in Kelowna, check him out. So yeah, I would kind of just come up with the ideas. I'd think of like the drum parts and what I could hear for the guitars and the bass in my head, and come up with some lyrics. So then it was me approaching him, and that was before I moved to Calgary. Now that we are a full band, it is a collaborative effort. It's we're five guys, we're five peas in a pod, and we all contribute. I'd like to say 20%. It's very collaborative. So we're all kind of a tight knit group that way. There's not necessarily one person that drives the writing or how the music is going to be.
So have there been any songs that you've just absolutely scrapped, and why did you do that?
There's been a couple that I wouldn't necessarily say we've scrapped, but we've kind of put on the back burner. Maybe for various reasons, like there was just certain segments that weren't working. We weren't necessarily finding a flow throughout the song that we wanted. I guess to find the right analogy, it would almost be like trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, right? Like we'll probably revisit them because we do like them, but at the same time, we're constantly like we're getting together once, twice a week, and that's just for practice and rehearsals. Aside from all the gigs we do, we're pretty active, so we're always coming up with stuff. And right now we're in the studio recording our second EP. It'll be another 5-song EP, and then I think like we probably got to have at least another 8 to 10, I would say, in the back burner that are like not necessarily ready to bring to the studio, but you'd have good frameworks for songs and ideas are there. It's just circling back to revisit them and see if maybe fresh ears can't think of something fun.
Yeah. So what's been your biggest challenge being an independent band in Canada?
I think the biggest challenge being an independent band in Canada, I think it's the same as an independent band really anywhere in the world trying to make it. It's just because, and again, this isn't a bad thing. It's just the digital world we live in. Just everything's so accessible. So, consumers and fans, they're really hyper focused on trying to consume as much content as possible. So it's all about trying to get their attention span through these digital spaces. I feel like I know I'm not, very old. I can't really speak to how it was back when, records and album sales were kind of king of the crop, but I feel like the art of the album has been lost and no one's going to go to your local record store and pick something up, listen to it front to back. It's all singles. It's what have you done for me lately? And it's also for our genre, being a rock band, a hard rock band, obviously you have very successful acts, but their music is all cyclical. And if you look at those really big hard rock acts, they've been doing it for a couple decades. And you look at the landscape now, R&B and hip hop was really popular. Now you can kind of see this shift with country music taking over. And eventually I do feel that rock and roll will come back. I think it is starting to come back with the crossover with country, with the metal country thing that's happening too down in the southern US. There's some real cool stuff happening there. So biggest challenge again is just trying to find your audience to that's your long-winded answer, is trying to find the people that are actually going to listen to the music. People like you, nice people like yourself that actually took the time to reach out and say some nice words and want to have a chat about what we're doing. Right.
So how would you describe your sound to somebody hearing it for the first time?
Yeah, I'd say it's got elements from a bunch of different things. I think I'll circle back to the bands I referenced earlier. Imagine if those bands had a baby and gave birth to us in a weird way. There's like certain things that you can probably pinpoint as like, oh yeah, you could hear that they've been influenced by these guys. But I would say we got a bit of a harder sound. It's like we're not like heavy metal, but we're hard rock, and we got some nice riffs, but we also got some really tasty and tasteful kind of toned down parts and laid back parts that can kind of let a little bit more be a little bit more light and melodic at the same time too. But then we also know when to kind of change gears and then get everybody moving. So it's a little bit of everything, I would say.
I don't
know if that's a good answer, but
how do you balance your creativity with the business side of music?
It's tough. It's tough for me in my position because I pretty much we're a team and we make all decisions together. But I in terms of doing most of the legwork, I would say that I take on most of the responsibilities. So to balance being owner manager Josh with also fun bandmate lead singer Josh is kind of you gotta leave those two things kind of separate sometimes when dealing with the bandmates, and dealing with the other things, because you don't want to get so caught up in one side that you lose focus of the other, because it is pretty demanding and it does take a lot of work. I wish we had a manager that could help us out and book us shows and get us where we need to be. It would save me a lot of time on my computer. It would give me more time to hang out with the dudes and write more music. So you just gotta know when to focus your time in the right area, I guess, would be how I do it.
So what's been your most memorable performance?
Honestly, I would say we had a really good one in Edmonton one time, actually at the Rendezvous Pub. It was one of our first shows, and I just remember it really vividly because there was a really popular metal band that was doing like a reunion show, and they brought us up for that. And that place, when it gets wall to wall with people is pretty fun. But
It's a good
we're
time there for sure. I've been
yeah,
there a few times.
yeah, no, Calvin's the man. But yeah, we got some really cool stuff coming up this summer too. Like we're going on the road. We got a tour to Saskatchewan booked in September. We're actually going down to LA in July to play the Whiskey A Go Go
Nice.
for their annual Crew Fest fundraiser. So I'm pretty excited about that. So for now, we're gonna go with that one at Rendezvous, but we're hoping, with all due respect, we're hoping that we can make another cool memory that might top it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's the craziest thing that's happened to you on stage?
On stage? uh I mean, I guess this isn't necessarily a PG-13 show, is it?
No, it's not. That's why it's
I figured
unfiltered.
from in the title, Ampton Unfiltered. I'm not gonna say where I was or what bar I was at, because if I do, people, it doesn't matter. People might figure out who she is. But I was at this one place, and we were playing a show, and I think she was obviously a little intoxicated, and she came up like right in front of me to the stage, lifted up her shirt, like right when I was trying to sing, and was like following me around. I was trying to focus and do my job, and it was actually kind of annoying, to be honest with you. Extremely flattering.
A little bit of a distraction.
Well, when you're trying to when you're doing one of your harder songs, and you really got to focus, otherwise it could sound really bad if you don't execute it.
Yeah.
And then that just like I wasn't complaining. It was just kind of like, oh God, can you do that a little further away? Just not
Yeah.
right in front of me. That'd be great.
So how does the energy in Calgary crowds compare to others?
Well, I'd say it's good. I'd say it's good. You got a pretty loyal live music community. So whether or not you're gonna, like every band's gonna have their own little fan base that's gonna be dedicated, that's gonna come out. But there's always people going out to the live music venues, especially the people that aren't into the ones going to, let's say, the club or kind of your upscale cocktail bar, right? Like there's always people that want to go to these dive bars, the live music venues. So usually, I'd say Wednesday through Sunday, if you got a show, there's at least going to be some people there,
Yeah.
right? It's never going to be dead. You're never going to play to an empty room. Obviously, it's still your responsibility to bring people to the show, but there's always support out there.
Yeah.
It's a really nice place to play music.
So have you ever faced any major setbacks that changed your direction?
Yeah, multiple times, all the time. All the time. It's just part of being in a band, and I feel like the successful ones are the ones that can be resilient and know how to just let things go and not let emotions get involved. Because the second you let emotions get involved is when you start to lose sight of what your goal is and what you're trying to achieve, what you're striving for. If you get caught up in the egotistical side of things, the clickiness, right, the trying to appease people, you're gonna fall behind, because you got to think about it, right? Like, there's so many people out there trying to do the same thing as you that are working extremely hard. So if you slack for 1 second, you've instantly fallen 10,000 spots in my mind.
Mhm.
Right. So setbacks are going to come. The biggest one for us is just until we found our current drummer, Julian. Julian's the man. Just so ironic for me. We couldn't hold a drummer for more than 3 months without them having to do something else or leaving for something else.
Yeah.
Right. And it's just, as a drummer myself too, who has written 80% of the material and played it on the records, I was like, oh, I could do it. But I was like, God damn it, I got to sing. It's just such a conundrum.
I don't know.
You
Phil
know,
Collins did it, right?
I know, but I'm not as good as Phil Collins right now, I guess. It's really hard. It's really, really hard.
I bet it is, actually.
Yeah.
So if you were to collaborate with any Canadian band, who would it be?
Oh, Annie?
Any.
Just one?
Or a few.
Oh, can I name a couple?
Sure.
All right, because obviously, 3 Days Grace to me was a very influential. I'm still a massive fan. I think Adam Gontier is probably one of the best rock and roll singers of the 2000s, right? In the early 2000s. There's just something about his voice that's very memorable. So if the universe ever allowed that to happen, I would probably, I don't know what I would do, but them being from Alberta, Calgary, close to Hannah, I gotta say Nickelback. I'm a huge Nickelback fan. Not afraid, not ashamed to say it.
No,
Those guys rule. If you don't like them, you're lying.
right?
So, but and then probably I would also say Ian Thornley. I'm a big Ian Thornley fan. I like Big Wreck, but I like his solo stuff too. His solo album Thornley is what it's called. It's front to back. It's great.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, what's the most rewarding part of making music?
For me, there's two things. The first is being able to create something that, whether or not other people like it, you still made something and it's going to last forever.
Mhm.
And just to have that, to feel something in that, to be able to do it with your friends, that moment when you're thinking and trying to put something together and it all just comes together so nice, and you get the song written, you go to the studio, you record it, and there's just something magical about that feeling. And I know every single musician would say this exact same thing. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody, every time they ever write a song and it's done, they listen to it, they're like, that could be the one, right? And it's that feeling right there. And that's really cool to me. The second one is when you play live, and recently it doesn't happen much. We're getting there, but I've seen a couple people singing along to some of our songs. Again, not very many.
Yeah.
They're not singing the whole song, but when they do pick up a chorus here and there, and I see that, I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool, because then that means that thing that we're making that ultimately is for us is now resonating with other people and making an impact, or like making them feel something as well. So that's really cool. Yeah, I quite enjoy that feeling.
How do you prepare mentally for shows?
Oh man, I don't. I don't. I just I usually have. I'm usually organizing a bunch of it and kind of moving a lot of parts. So I'm always usually right up until half an hour till set time. I'm kind of also being the organizer and the socializer, like doing my part, thanking people for coming, making sure everything, the opening band's got everything they need, like gear wise is all good, sound guys set up, like everything's taken care of at the door. So until like it gets close to set time, that's when I got a little bit of a break and I could kind of mosey off and take some time for myself to decompress, just be silent, be still in the moment, and then go through my vocal warm-ups. And then next thing you know, it's time to go. So at this point, I don't really have too much time to mentally prepare. It's just always go time. Yeah.
So, how do you know when a song's fully done?
You don't. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes it could be done and you think it needs more, or you think you need to work something when really the best thing it is for you to leave it alone. I'd say ultimately when you know a song is done is when you just got to put your trust in the other people involved in the project, like your producer. You got to put a lot of trust in your producer, because sometimes artists can overthink. So honestly, when everyone in the room can look at each other and say, we've explored every option, we've explored every idea, there's nothing we can do to make this song better in any part, in any way, shape, or form, that's probably when it's done. And then we put it out, and I've had a couple songs that we've put out and I listen back to it now. I'm like, oh, I wish I could have done that differently. Right. Like, it still is always there. So sometimes you just got to let it go and just be happy with it, as long as everyone else in the room is.
So what inspires you outside music? Do you have any hobbies outside of music?
Yeah, I'm pretty active. I like sports, like working out, like to play a lot of golf, played a lot of hockey growing up. Yeah, I like to get out to the mountains. I like to go hiking. I'm a very active guy. I like to be outside. Obviously on nights off, I like to be at home sitting on the couch watching a movie, relaxing, just
Yeah.
hanging out. But other than that, I like to be outside and try to enjoy the fresh air, touch some grass as much as I can.
So what's the story behind your latest release? I believe it's called Save Me, was the one that I seen.
Yep. We put that out last month. Story behind that one, I guess it's just guys were, it started with that guitar riff, the do 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 do. It's just started with that, and then they started jamming, and then just started again singing a melody over top, and then some lyrics started coming out. And I guess ultimately, to me, what the song means is it's a story of two people that thought they were maybe destined to be together, work together or do something together in some capacity. It could be a romantic relationship, a personal relationship, what have you. But, between them, their own destructive habits kind of drove them apart, and they couldn't save themselves from themselves for themselves, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that there's probably a lot of people out there that can relate to a situation like that. It's not uncommon. Yeah, it's just, I guess, maybe one final goodbye to whoever that person may be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what advice can you give new bands that are just starting out?
Oh, just get together and play. Make noise. Just make noise. You're probably not going to be very good at first,
Yeah.
and that's also very common. But if you continue to work at it every single day and you have passion for it, the sky's the limit for you. I truly believe that. I really do believe that. And so just play as much as you can. Never say no to a show. I don't care where it is. I don't care how long the set is. I don't care if you're getting paid or not. You go play that show, and you play that show like it's the last show you're ever going to play in your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you continue, yeah, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but if you continue to work with that ethic and you enjoy every minute and never take it for granted, I think no matter what, you'll be pleased with whatever quantifiable result may come from that.
So, if you could play any music festival, which one would you want to play?
Oh man, there's so many good ones.
I
Welcome
know.
to Rockville would be sweet.
Yes.
Open air would be sweet. Hellfest would be sweet. I don't. Oh man, there's so many good ones. That's hard to say. Um,
Just all of them.
yeah, yeah. Is that too much to ask for? Is that too much to ask for?
Keep
I,
things a
I,
little
I do.
interesting.
I do have a dream venue. I don't want to be the cliche guy and say Wembley Stadium or Madison Square Garden. Obviously, those would be sick. But for me, Red Rocks Amphitheater. I don't know if you've ever seen that place before, but yeah, there's just something to me. That place seems so special with a nighttime show there with the sunset, and that would be so cool. That would be super cool.
So, what legacy do you want Lost Souls to leave behind? Or Vivid Souls, sorry.
All good.
Void Souls.
I just haven't really thought about that, to be honest with you. I'm still living in the moment. I hope we still got a lot of chapters to write in our history as a band. But if we're going to leave a legacy, I want to make sure that people remember us as a band that had fun, stayed true to themselves, had a never die attitude, and gave it their absolute best day in, day out with their own work and night in, night out every time they step foot on a stage. That would be, if that's the way that people could remember the band, that we worked our dicks off and we gave more of a shit than anyone you'll ever meet. I'm good with whatever happens, because I just want to know, I want people to know how much we work and how much we care and how much this means to us. So I don't care if there's 10 people at the venue. I don't care if we're playing in a venue to 10,000. We're still going to have the same amount of fun. So that's the energy and the attitude that I want us to, kind of come across to other people.
Nice. So, where
Yeah.
can people find your music?
Oh, you can find us anywhere you find your favorite bands, all your streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, probably playing at your grandma's house on repeat. I guarantee she's a fan. You can go to our website, voidsouls.com. You can find everything there, tour dates, what have you. We're going to be going through Saskatchewan and BC, and I'm working on a trip to Ontario, and see if we can't get any further east than that.
Well, I might be able to help you with a few places in Ontario.
That would be amazing, yeah, because we want to get out there. I'm trying to look for something in about a year's time, April, May next year. We'd like to do like 6 shows in 10 days, like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday break, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You've seen bands do that all the time, right? One of those deals. So
Well,
I will take any leads or recommendations you may have. That would be great.
we will keep in touch then for sure.
That sounds amazing. Thank you.
So, because my co-host hasn't been here, she's got the other half of the questions. But I think,
That's all good.
you know what? I think we covered a majority of it because you were kind of answering my questions that I had further down. So,
Oh, okay. Sorry. I hope I didn't
you know what?
take all the
No,
words
you
out of
did
your
a
mouth.
great job. And most people, you got to keep asking the questions, but that's okay. You kept it going. I
Sweet.
really enjoyed having you here. I really enjoy your music, and I wish you all the success for sure.
Thanks, Rhiannon. I appreciate your time. Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. Thank you for coming on, and hopefully we'll have you on again in the future.
Absolutely. I'd love to come back on.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thanks.